One of the most recent concerns of people in the rise of COVID-19 pandemic is the new normal education that presents a unique challenge for all the teachers, students, and educational leaders. At this time, students and parents might have a hard time and struggle a lot of adjusting to a new normal education that all the students can understand the lesson on their own at home. Unlike when they are inside of the classroom, that makes them feel stressed about thinking for answers and deadline of submission. It takes a lot of effort from all the teachers to sustain the quality of learning in education for the student. Students are stressed in a way they have ever imagined, and nothing about our current situation can be considered stable. So it was made clear that students are most vulnerable in this situation before. Education was seen as a gateway to brighter future, but now it becomes a burden to the poor and advantage to the affluent. This is just one of the situation and experiences of grade 12 students in Tanawan Institute as they embrace the new normal. The reason why the researchers decided to conduct this study was because they wanted to know the techniques of how the grade 12 senior high school student of Tanawan Institute handle the challenges of the new normal education.
Theoretical framework. It contains a theory of motivation from a self-determination. It provides a factors and understanding on the broad framework to facilitate intrinsic and extrinsic motivation on psychological and wellness, particularly on the relevance and issues to educational settings. This theory also provides a self-determination from extrinsic and extrinsic motivation that provides positive outcome across level of education and cultural context. It helps both students and teachers to motivate themselves in the new normal education.
This chapter is the presentation of literature studies which may directly or indirectly have a bearing to the study at hand. They are deemed significant, that is why these literature and studies are used. In local lit, it does not mean that there is a barrier to students being able to study and teach. They will give up, fight and fight, or they will continue their struggle so that they can finish and achieve their dream. In foreign lit, Bao said that online has caused many problems to students such as stress and more. They have problems because they have not been able to adjust to the new normal way of education.
COVID-19 dilemma has compelled education system all across the world to seek alternatives to face-to-face instruction. Because huge or localized lockdowns may be required in the future response to additional waves of the infection, it is critical for governments to determine which regulation might maximize the effectiveness of online learning. It studies the student-to-student interaction in the remote education. It examines issues such as the current state of student interaction and students. Based on the interaction, the study discovered that the student interact phenomenon distant education was interwoven with the virus aspect and teams using the phenomenological method.
In this chapter, according to the Williams 2007, descriptive research is the research method that can determine the situation in current phenomena. Research methodology. This chapter presents the method used in this study. In addition, Volume 1 2011 defines that descriptive research relates to an observation in collecting the data. The current status of the phenomenon in the study, capping strategies of the grade 12 student of Tanawan Institute in the challenges of new normal education. It consists of the research procedure, the subject of the study, determination of the sample research instrument, and statistical treatment of the data. In conducting this research, qualitative research is applied. Subject of the study, statistical treatment. This study determined the coping strategies of the grade 12 student of Tanawan Institute in the challenges of the new normal education. In this study, descriptive research is applied. As this design, NASA G 50 state that the goal of the descriptive research is drawing and classifying by the phenomenon. Based on the finding of the study, what alternative teaching and learning plan be proposed to mitigate the challenging being encountered by the graduate student of Panawan Institute in the challenges of the new normal education? Research design. The researchers used the descriptive method in this study because if the focus is more on demographic segmentation by using qualitative as applied system in the study.
Research design. This study determined the coping strategies of grade 12 student of Tanawan Institute in the challenges of new normal education. The descriptive method was used in this study. In this study, descriptive research is applied as the design. It is used because it aims to analyze and discuss the status of current phenomenon. The current status of phenomenon in this study is coping strategies of grade 12 students of Tanawan Institute in the challenges of new normal education. According to Williams 2007, descriptive research is a research method that can be determine the situation in current phenomenon. SAGI 2015 states that the goal of descriptive research is drawing and classifying the phenomenon. In addition, Walliman 2011 defines that descriptive research relates to an observation in collecting the data. In conducting this research, qualitative research is applied. Statistical treatment. Question number 1. What is the profile of the respondents? A. Age. B. Sex. C. Track. D. Strand. E. Number of subjects being taken. Question number 2. How do the respondents assess the challenges of new normal education along with A. Learning process. B. Internet connection. C. Learn from home setup. And D. Time management. Question number 3. Based on the finding of the study, what alternative teaching and learning plan may be proposed to mitigate the challenges being encountered by the students? Question number 4. How will you cope up with the new normal education?
What motivated you to conduct or choose this study? What motivated us in this study was help and provide more knowledge to other people and students. The research we did gave us to other people an idea of what was happening and what the impact of this pandemic on the student like us. And also help the next generation of students pave the way for proper research. What is your research all about? This research refers to grade 12 students studying at Tanawan Institute and what strategies they are adopting for their studies and what is the huge impact of them as a student and how they will face to test to accept the new normal education.
How is your theory or concept relevant to your study? It is relevant to my study because of the situation that faced by each student experiencing how to train and be able to adjust to learning in our today's situation.
Question. How do you formulate your SOP? Answer. Our group thinks of the possible problems in our research, the reason why we formulate our SOP.
Phenomenon. They want to understand why the phenomenon occurred. However, before you can identify why a phenomenon took place, it is integral to answer other questions. First, you need to have answer to the what, when, how, and where. Before you can understand the why, this is where descriptive research comes in. The descriptive research designs involve using a range of qualitative and quantitative research methods to collect data that aids accurately describing a research problem. Descriptive research design is a type of research design that aims to obtain information to systematically describe a phenomenon, situation, or population. More specifically, it helps answer the what, when, where, and how question regarding the research problem rather than the why. The descriptive method of research can involve the use of many different kinds of research methods to investigate the variables in question. It fundamentally employs quantitative data, although qualitative data is also used sometimes for descriptive purposes. It is important to note that in the descriptive method of research, unlike in experimental research, the researcher does not control or manipulate any variables. Instead, the variables are only identified, observed, and measured.
How was the experience of doing this research? First of all, we would like to thank our whole group for giving us the opportunity to do this kind of research, and also to Ma'am Karen Di Umampo who provide knowledge about the research we will be doing. Our group has experienced many things like misunderstanding, fatigue in thinking what to do, and most of all, not listening to what to do. But all of this, we overcame and become successful.